the Illuminati. I've had people on here and they talk about the Illuminati. Do you believe in it?
Fuck no. Literally, people come on and think it's real?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what are the other ones? There's the Illuminati, and who are the other ones that are like that? There's like other secret groups, right?
Yes, secret societies.
Right? I'm like, I'm rich as fuck. I'm Jewish. Nobody asked me to join any of them secret societies, right? Nobody. I'm like, hello? Can I at least get an invite to a cocktail party? Nobody. I'm like, okay, maybe it's me.
They figure you gonna blow the lid on the thing. Mark.
No, if it's cool. I mean, I've been to many parties. I haven't said shit, right?
Social media. What are your thoughts on social media? Good, bad?
Good and bad, right? It's not so good for kids anymore. Mm-hmm. It's not good when it comes to politics and medical information. There's a ton of misinformation, but I mean, when it's social, it can be great. But social media isn't social anymore.
Right.
You know, maybe some on Instagram, maybe some on TikTok, but even there, right, you post something you think is no big deal and people are killing you, right? They're giving you shit about everything just because they can. And there's just no way around that. And even worse, right, the way the algorithms work now, everybody's social media feed is different.
Yes.
You know, yours is different than mine, then different than each one of the folks here. Everybody's different. And so the way things are sold has changed. The way people consume information has changed. We have an election coming up, right? And everybody gets their own feed and nobody knows what's real information. And everybody now thinks of things in like 15, 30-second sound bites anyways.
Delonte West, he's fallen on some hard times and you've done several times you've reached out and tried to help. How hard is it to see someone that played for you struggle with
brutal
mental health illness?
Brutal, right? Because I thought we had him turned around. You know, we sent him down to Jason's place down in Florida, and it's like a farm, Jason Williams, and you know, he's like, he's making progress, sending pictures. Dante's emailing me, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're getting this. Then Dante throws his shit over the fence, disappears. We bring him back again. Making progress. This is it. Same shit. Only so much you can do.
Wow.
Yeah.
What can people learn from that story?
Mental illness is real. It is real, and you just don't wish it away. You don't just rehab it away. You know, I've got other friends, you know, Tanya, these other people that I support and help. You want them to get help, but some things you can't help on everything.
Right. You were the shareholder in Twitter before.
No, I wasn't.
You wasn't.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't.
So what's your back and forth with
Elon?
Yeah.
Oh man, I just love to fuck with him, right? It's like nobody likes to fuck with him, right? So I'm like,
yeah, because he'll turn your Twitter off. Right?
Yeah, right. I mean, he's got really thin skin, and so it just makes it easy. It's like he sets himself up, right? When it's your place and it's your business, it's like a club, right? Yeah, come on in, have a drink, and you just assume everybody's just going to really, you know, say yes to you, right?
Right.
Nobody ever says that dinner sucked, right? It's just fun. And I don't have anything personal against him. And I never initiate it, right? The only time I ever go back at Elon is when he tries to fuck with me. So like he's called me a racist. He's called me a fool. He's called me all these different names. So he's always calling me names and I don't care. But if you're going to call me a name, I'm just going to fuck with you, right? Because you're Elon. If it's just some random, what's the point?
How important is this election in 2024?
Everything. To me, I mean, look, if you don't think Donald Trump is a threat, you don't think this is the most important election. I do. I just don't. I've known him for 25 years. I don't trust him, right? I don't think he's moral. I don't think he's ethical. I've seen him rip people off. I don't believe pretty much anything he says. And so to me, you know, I've been trying to support Kamala.
What are your thoughts on DEI?
On DEI, I like it. I think it's good for business, right? You know, I think a lot of people try to misrepresent what it is. But to me, diversity means, you know, good business. Go look for people where other people aren't looking, right? Not all companies recruit at HBCUs, right?
Correct.
Not all companies recruit, you know, at different schools where there's a large Indian population or where there's a large LGBTQ populations. And so, I want, like any other business element, I want to look where other people aren't, because that's where you find smart people. And then once you find those smart people, that they got to be qualified. You're not hiring them if they're not qualified, right? But just some people think like, okay, I hired someone who's black or LGBTQ or Hispanic. Well, they must not be qualified. No, you're not going to hire them unless they're qualified, right? So the DEI doesn't mean hiring less qualified people. It just means finding people that
are more diverse.
Yeah, they happen to be diverse, right? You're looking at other people,
yes,
right? Because you can be as diverse as you want. You can be LGBTQ, trans, black, and Hispanic, but if you're not qualified, you're not getting hired, right?
Right.
That doesn't do you any good, right? But I want to go where other people aren't looking. And then once you hire them, the E is equity, right? It means I'm going to put you in a position to succeed. I hired your ass, right? Of course, I'm going to try to put you in a position. Yeah. And then the I, what we're talking about is just, I'm going to let you be you, right? And so being inclusive means if you're LGBTQ, if you're trans, I don't give a fuck as long as you're good,
long as
right?
you do the job. I don't care what you do.
Yeah, I don't care, right?
You can be a lumberjack.
I don't care, right? You can walk around singing a lumberjack song. I don't care, right? But, I'm going to make sure people in the workplace and the organization respect that.
Yes.
Right? If you're a boy and you want to call yourself Sue, I don't care, right? People are going to call you Sue. And some people, they use it as an excuse if they don't get a job. Right? Oh, it must be DEI. No, I mean,
I didn't think you were qualified for the
either you're qualified or you're not, right? And once you get there, just because you were hired and you're diverse, doesn't mean you're getting a promotion, doesn't mean you're getting the next job. And to me, that's what DEI is, and that's why I've been a big supporter.
I want to get you out of here on this one. Mark, how hard, because you got married after you had already had some paper, major paper, how were you able to tell that, you know what, she loves me for being Mark? Or do you really know?
Yeah, of course you know. I mean, if she'll let you hit you with the Dutch oven, you got it. No, I made her go to oh my God, I'm spacing out. What the fuck? The Little Burgers. White Castles, right?
What?
I made her go to White. That was the test before we got married. And so we're going to White Castles because I went to school in Indiana. White Castles were everywhere, right?
Yes.
And so I was like, we're going to White Castles. And if you really love me, you'll eat a White Castle burger. She did.
Wow. Give me 3 things that you tell your kids. Because obviously you want your kids to be productive citizens.
Sure.
You don't want to hand them everything.
Sure.
So what are some of the advice that you give your kids? Because obviously they know who you are. Yeah. They know what you have, so what they have.
So number 1 is when your friends get drunk, nobody cares, right? When you get drunk, because you're my kid, you're on the front page of the paper and you're all over social media. So always pay attention to where you're at and what you're doing and be respectful, right? Number 2, you've got to set your own path. You've got to understand that as you get older, you're going to want to define your own future. So you're going to have to do the work. Like I literally just wrote my son a note to that effect. And then just generally, right? And I say this to all kids, and all people, right? To be successful, you have to be curious because the world's always changing. You have to be agile, because the world's always changing. And then I also have a couple of really stupid sayings, right? And you asked for 3, but I'm going to go further. Number 1 is how you do anything is how you do everything, right? Applies to sports, and I think it applies to life, right? And I'll leave it at that one because that's probably the most important because most people, they'll cut every corner that they can.
Right.
And I don't want them to cut corners because, they don't have to worry about money.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because we like to do something before 2 something.